I was doing a little bit of accounting recently, and yeah, we're not looking good on the year. So I mean, if we go over the numbers, we've basically only lost money since January. Having my worst year in 3 years now. Sometimes we start off bad, we progressively get better. This year we started off very well, progressively got worse, and I kind of noticed something, right? I noticed what one of my biggest spenders are, right? And I also noticed how I'm trading differently this year compared to the previous years. And I think it largely has to do with how we started out this year, right? Because we started off wonderful, right? I think we were up like $150,000 in futures in January, and then a bunch more in crypto, right? We had a great crypto run, and then we kind of just started giving it all back, and yeah, basically pretty consistently just losing money, with 1 month specifically being one of our biggest losers. And I remember this month very, very, very well because I pledged to myself that I'm gonna do something and I'm gonna stick to it, right? I think we were talking about reducing size, where we did have that 3 month span where we committed to micros, right? And we did do it eventually, but we got there kind of late, right? So we already had the plan made that we were going to commit to micros for at least like 3 months. And, this month specifically is March, right? It was kind of the month where we spent over $40,000 in prop firms in just 1 month. And it was terrible, right? So to give you a vague idea of the numbers, right? Because I mean, I don't. It's no secret that we haven't gotten a payout in a while. Usually, I have the banner above my head out in every live stream every single day, showing my payouts year to date, right? And it's like about $96,000 right now, and it was $95,000 in January, right? It is now September, and now it's 96,000. So, I mean, do the math, right? I just told you I lost $40,000 in 1 month, and we are net negative with prop firms. We really are. And, on the personal account, we have a little bit of room, but I just did my accounting just to give myself a rough number of where I am with futures right now, and we're completely not negative, right? So in January, we made what, $50,000 in the personal account, $95,000 in prop firm payouts in January. In February, we lost about $30,000 on the personal account, and we just kind of took the money out and stopped trading it, right? So we're net profit, $20,000 on that account. On Webull, I've been trading it the past like 3 months, with the exception of this month, September. I just completely stopped trading it because last month we had a day where we lost $15,000 in one day, right? We started off the account with $12,000. We made about, I don't know, 26,000 ish, maybe 30,000 ish, right? And then we lost $15,000 in one day. And, I had like $5,000 in the account after that. Got it back up to like $7,500 because we caught a nice little cliff. And then I lost like another $5,000. So on that account, we're only net profit at $10,000, right? And that brings our total payouts to total profits across the board, prop firms and personal account included, to what, $126,000. I just looked at my spend on prop firms. It's $131,000. So we're not negative. I'm having my worst year in 3 years, and I'm really not happy about it. But the thing is, I understand how this game goes, right? Trading's not easy. It's no secret, right? Trading's one of the hardest things you could ever choose to do, especially as a human, because it's so counterintuitive to human emotions and human senses and just the way we think, right? That's why market psychology plays such a massive role in a trader's, journey. So I'm kind of recording this because, hopefully 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, we'll be in, $20 million profit or whatever it is. I don't really care what the number is, but hopefully we'll be profitable, right? I mean, we still have a few months to go left in this year, so I mean, maybe we could turn things around. We do have 20 Apex PAs, 300K accounts, so I mean, one payout would be $70,000. That would effectively put us right back up there, right, into the net profit zone. So I mean, we still have our shot, right? But what I did notice is that we have some major problems that we need to overcome, right? And I mean, it's no secret, right? I show everything in my live streams every single day, right? And anyone that watches them kind of knows what my weaknesses are, right? So I mean, first of all, I trade off intuition, right? Probably not an amazing thing, but it's treated me well for years up until this year, right? Which, I do have strategies. I trade multiple strategies, but my entries, my exits are based off intuition, right? And this year, I've had some significant mental problems. Not mental problems, but like, you know, events in my life that kind of messed with my psychology, right? Messed with my head. As an intuition trader, it's all I have, right? I mean, like I have the strategies, but I'm not good at mechanical trading, right? I tried that, didn't work for me, so I don't do mechanical trading, right? I mean, sometimes setup looks good, I'll just let it ride out, but majority of the time I'm trading off intuition, right? And with bad things that have happened to me this year, personal stuff like getting completely screwed over by people that I thought were my friends, and just other things that kind of like that are just part of life, right? I mean, just bad things happen in life. Life isn't always cherries and blossoms, and it's not that sweet, right? So I think I let it kind of get to me, especially after having such a great start to the year. We just kind of spiraled since then. And I've identified what it is, right? We're consistently over trading, right? We have a green day. We're already locked in, already have a green day. Decide to do, just one more. Now, what does that one more turn into? It turns into, multiple trades. Maybe I lose one, maybe I win one. If I win, I'm just like, okay, well, maybe we'll call it a day. Maybe we'll take another one. And then eventually, inevitably, I will lose a trade. I'll get pissed off. I'll start trading even more, maybe adding more size, stuff like that. And then, those are typically the days where we blow out, right? Just like we saw in March with our Apex PAs. Once again, we were, what, 2/3 of the way, maybe a little more than halfway to like a $55,000 payout, $60,000 payout, whatever it was. And then in one day, we just decided today's the day where we're just going to not stop trading. We had plenty of opportunities to take a minor loss or, trade with the trend. Typically, the days where we blow out, which kind of which actually did happen to us just last week, are those days where it just slowly grinds up forever and it never comes down, right? We're always looking for those shorts instead of joining the trend. Because in my head, we joined the trend, we took a scalp or whatever, we didn't hold through it. I get pissed off because if I have to re-enter, it's not going to be as good as the entry that I had before with the scalp. It's just like delusional mind games that I play with myself whenever there's an uptrend, especially when it's one of those up forever days, which they happen. It's the type of day in the market, right? Which literally just happened to us last week, where we blew out, but by the grace of God, we had a trade evade outage, and well, I mean, I don't know if it was really a good thing, because we actually did join the trend at that point, and it was going to be a profitable trade, but the trade evade outage happened, right? We were 2 minis long on our 300K Apex accounts, And, Trade of 8 went out for 10, 15 minutes, came back. We were 14 minis deep, right? Just randomly, it just added 12 minis to our position. We were on the side of the trend, so I was like, okay, so I mean maybe it'll work, but nope, boom, blew out. Just a quick little dip, blew us out, and then it mooned, right? So fortunately, Apex was kind enough to reset those accounts because of the Trade of 8 outage. After seeing that we were 14 minis deep and we shouldn't have been, but that's just beyond fucking lucky of us, right? We just got super super lucky there, and we can't really count on luck as traders, right? Of course, there is luck involved in day trading, and I guess trading overall, right? Especially with Trump being president. But it's not a good thing. But we did get a second chance on those accounts, so I mean, looking at our P&L on the year, it's not looking good, but there is hope on the horizon, right? As long as we fucking lock down. So we've identified our first problem, right, which is over trading, specifically on days where it's an up forever day, right? We're over trading, and then we're also counter trading at the same time, right? So that's problem number two, right? It got so bad I actually had to write this down. I mean, if there's a trend, either join it or leave it alone, right? That's just something I had to write down for myself on a piece of paper and put it right next to my desk because I just couldn't get it through my thick skull to do that kind of stuff, to join an obvious trend. I mean, we drew the trend lines and we saw our entries. We were in shorts, we were in profit. It's bouncing off the trend line. Easily could have took profit on our scalp, on our short scalp, because we were green. You know what I mean? It would have just been a nice little scalp. Of course, we didn't do it. We held it. Trend continued. It didn't break. Right? We were trying to guess the top, which rarely works. Right? Reversal trading, terrible win rate. Terrible win rate. Because guessing a top is like fucking throwing shit at a wall and hoping it sticks, right? It's just not a high win rate strategy. We weren't letting the things with the system line up for a reversal trade, right? We were just kind of shorting and hoping for the reversal, which is a terrible, terrible way to trade, right? It sucks losing. It really, really sucks. And I myself have a terrible time losing. I like to win, right? I mean, just like most traders, cutting a loser, letting a red day go is super super hard. So I mean, that kind of goes back to the last year, why we did so well, right? We made over $200,000 profit, maybe it was like $300,000 profit last year off prop firms alone. It's not including our personal accounts. So I mean, we did very very well. What did we do? We actively practiced not letting a red day spiral out of control, right? We actually accepted the red days. In my head, if my first, second trade, I lost them, I'll just be like, okay, I'm done. I'm calling it, right? Obviously, there were some days where I would fucking get pissed off and we'd go balls to the wall and, blow out, stuff like that. Or, magically get lucky and come back. But those were rare. But what I was actively doing was practicing taking those little red days. So that's the third thing we're doing. We're not accepting red days. It's either green or blow the account, basically, right? We're having a terrible time accepting those little red days that are just a normal part of trading. So I mean, those are my three biggest problems this year that I noticed. From a prop perspective, I was kind of looking at the prop firms where I'm making the most money and that I'm losing the most money. Funny enough, the instant funding prop firms, my expenses are so fucking high and my payouts are so little because I'm trading instant funding like evaluations when they just aren't. They're 5 times, 6 times the price. So that's something that I noticed was kind of eating away, and that's how we kind of dug ourselves a fucking massive hole. I mean, it's not looking good, right? But I did realize which prop firms I'm actually not profitable with, right? It's Apex, funny enough, per dia, and what was the third one? Oh, it's Top Step. It's Top Step. Yeah, those are my three highest net profits prop firms. And I'm sitting there fucking around buying new prop firm accounts, I'm trading minis and I'm buying 50K accounts from funding ticks and I'm blowing them out after getting funded or, just in the eval phase. And it's like, no shit, you're trading minis on a $2,000 drawdown. The numbers just, the statistical probabilities of it working out just aren't fucking there. Unless you're, scalping for 5 points with a 5 point stop loss, something like that, which is kind of just lucky on NQ, right? It's very, very difficult to do. So we're fucking around, buying 50K accounts, trading minis, sometimes 2, 3 minis, and just blowing out. And it's like, fucking duh. It's just, you gotta get lucky to make it like that, right? And then, we're also panic closing our winners before they actually, come to fruition. We're closing too early. We're not letting our winners run. And that's what actually made me profitable as a trader 3 years ago, is holding my winners for fucking diamond hand bull runs or cliffs, mostly bull runs. Bull runs were actually my favorite, or one of my most profitable things in futures, right? It was NQ bull runs that I made the most money with. You guys saw on Top Step TV, I was making $40,000, $60,000 dollars in one trade, right? And I was just diamond handing without fucking, no panic, just emotionless diamond handing. And if things looked bad, I would just exit, right? And that's just something we're not doing. Now we are dealing with unrealized trailing drawdown, so the psychological part is there. So I mean that's kind of just how my year's going. It's not going well, right? But I'm not gonna sit here and cry about it. Mostly because I don't really have the capability of crying. If I could cry, I would fucking love to. I think it has something to do with the way I grew up. I just have a terrible time trying, like, crying. Like, it's very, very rare for me, right? But if I could cry, I would fucking love it. You know what I mean? Like, I love crying because it's just like such an emotional release. And I feel like I have so much shit just built up in me, and it's just mentally crushing me, right? Not even from the money standpoint, but from just bad things that have happened to me throughout the year. So, I mean, what are we going to do? How are we going to solve this? Well, we identified the three things we're having the most trouble, right? Overtrading, spiraling when there's a trend happening. We just don't join the trend, right? Counter trend trading / reversal trading, and whatever the third one was, whatever it is, it's probably oversizing. If not, that's number 4. We're oversizing for no reason as well. So now that we see those problems, I'm gonna try my best to actively fix it, right? Journaling every day, have these little rules / notes next to me, a physical paper, right? I usually have them digitally, but I actually wrote them down on a piece of paper and put them right next to me, so I just always see them. And we're not gonna give up. I mean, like, we're just not gonna give up, because as a trader, I believe you only fail when you give up. I mean, I've had years where I was down $100,000, and then magically, not magically, but through fucking sheer determination and fucking just delusional belief that we're gonna make it, I would make, $400,000 in like a fucking week. That happened. Yeah, that was my first year being profitable. I was down a pretty significant amount on the year, and I was just doing little base hits, right? And I kind of like went on this like green streak, right? Just like making $2,000, $5,000 a day. I withdrew the $30,000 or whatever I had in there, and then I started, identifying great trades, and I would fucking send it full port, and I would make like 100,000. I think $200,000 was our biggest day, which we overtraded a little bit and kind of lost half of it. But I really am a firm believer in trading. You have to have this delusional belief that you're gonna fucking make it. Because when I've been down so far in the dumps, on the verge of bankruptcy, almost having to move in with my mom again, or like, whatever, move in with family, I just don't give up. I just keep going. In my first couple of years of trading, when I actually did lose all of my fucking money, I was, lucky enough to have a 9 to 5 job selling Lamborghinis and Bentleys that paid decently well, right? And I also had like a little startup business that wasn't really making much money. But after I lost all my money trading in my first, I think this was my second year of trading, I just locked in on my job and, made some money working, clocking in and out. And then I tried it again. And then I still wasn't successful, right? It didn't really work out. But, I kept on trying. And then about a year later, I actually was successful, right? So, I mean, that's what we're going to keep doing. I mean, why? Why would we just give up? We want to be traders. We love the game. We love the freedom that comes with trading, the location freedom, right? We're in Thailand right now, just kind of chilling. We've been traveling the world for the past 2 years, trading in every country you could think of. Like it's just a great time. Just having the ability to just have a laptop and make money wherever the fuck you are, right? I just know we're gonna make it, right? Even if we're having a terrible year, the worst year in 3 years. Even if like we do close this year out red, I have this delusional belief that the next year we'll make it back or make even more than whatever. Or I'm delusional in believing that I'm gonna make it. And the traders that you see that do prosper long term, they kind of say the same thing, right? Which further reinforces my belief that you just have to believe that you will make it. And you got to find something that works, right? Like myself, stuff isn't working for me right now, right? But it's worked for the past 2 years. So I'm not going to change it, right? I mean, I do sometimes take different trades, stuff like that, but I'm an intuitional trader. I'm going to change the way I take setups and where my TPs are and stuff like that. But it's gotten me this far, so I'm not gonna change. I'm just gonna keep on going and basically just either make it or break it, right? I mean, what else am I gonna do? Am I just gonna give up? No. And so that's kind of the part of trading that a lot of people don't talk about is when times are fucking hard, sometimes you just gotta take a break and work a job or work on your business or do something else till you have a steady stream of income to kind of back you up, because trading is very, very hard on the mind. It's terrible. And financial debts or financial problems just compound into that psychological toll that trading alone has on you. Which, I'm lucky enough to not really have that issue because of my business and, our profits from crypto and stuff. So, I mean, I'm lucky on that front, right? But, we're getting there and it could turn disastrous, right? But I mean, we're really, really trying to lower our risk right now, right? We're not trading instant funding because of the massive price tag. We're taking our time on evals. We're, trying to risk less because, with one mini and 20 Apex accounts, I mean, it could take 3 weeks, right, to get a payout. It could take 2 months, right? But the payouts are so enormous that it's okay, right? I mean, $70,000 in one payout, even if it took 2, 3 months, that's still what, 20 something $1,000 a month if you break it up between the 3 months. I mean, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it now, right? So I will take the red year. It's okay. I'm not going to be mad about it. I will be mad about it, but I'm going to accept it, right? Because that's just part of trading. But yeah, I mean, we've identified our triggers. We identified what's really cooking us this year, and we're just gonna try our best to move forward, right? That's all I can really do. Hopefully, we get blessed with some massive cliffs because I love those. But it might not happen. We might just have to deal with a bull run, and that's actually another thing that we've been having a terrible time with is actually taking longs and holding on to them. We've majorly been focused on shorts and mostly looking for shorts. So that would be the fourth or fifth thing we would want to focus on, right? Is taking both longs and shorts. So, I mean, I'm kind of just taking this video to document, where I am in 2025 in September. And, hopefully I look back on this in a few years and be like, damn, I remember when life sucked or my trading career sucked back then. Life doesn't suck, right? That would just be toxic way of thinking. Even though I'm having a terrible time trading, I still love my life. I'm still working out. I'm still, hanging out with my girlfriend, and I'm not letting trading affect my personal life as much as I used to let it affect my personal life, which I think is a big W right there. And I hope me making this video helps you guys if you guys are in the same spot as me this year, because trading is not fucking easy, but you cannot let it affect your personal life or just completely annihilate your mental health. You just can't let it. You gotta be just so optimistic on everything that you're doing in your life. Just believe that it will work out. And for me personally, it has worked out for the most part. Maybe not right now, but long term it has worked out for me because I've always had that belief that I will make it, that I will achieve my goals. So I hope this helps somebody out there. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys live every single day at 9:15 a.m. EST for the market open. Love you guys. Peace out.